gang shit, bad shit, gang squad clothes.
Jay Eliante pulling up, feeling like Harry Belafonte. Look at my racks, feel like Serena went hit from the back. Swing, pull like Jim, waves on swim, anorak Tims with the tech. Butterfly doors on the Tesla, I spend shit on gas.
I have 3 drinks. I
What
usually
do
have 2, I have 3.
What are you drinking?
I have water.
Okay.
I have a yellow Gatorade, lemon and lime specifically, and a peppermint tea.
Wow, look at you.
I don't love it.
Hydrated as fuck.
Always. Well, hi.
Hi. How's it
Hi,
going?
listeners. Amazing.
Hi. Welcome to the Bad Brew, the podcast where 2 bad bitch besties rant about this sick, bad world. I'm John Day.
I'm Tay.
So
we have a big one today.
I have a feeling, let's just say our topic right away, because I was thinking it's kind of silly of us to say it midway when the episode is already titled.
Yeah. I mean, anybody listening or like watching or whatever, like definitely knows, but yeah.
So
what's
tell us.
title?
You tell me.
Oh, I'll do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll do it. Today's topic is the dark side of the fashion industry, specifically the Balenciaga situation, because I have a lot to say.
I've seen a TikTok about this. I think the one you sent me. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I went out of my way to not see any more content about it because I wanted you to explain it to me.
Yes.
But
okay.
before we get into that, do we have some morning brew?
I do have morning brew, but you know what else? I have a little bit of who the fuck are you, kind of. It's really just kind of like a catch up for the week. First off, did you watch The Terminal? Really important for me to know this. No,
I didn't. I told you I wasn't going to.
Okay, because I have to say, I somehow ended up watching another Tom Hanks movie this week. I don't know how it happened. It was completely by accident. And it has...
Because you just want to support him and make sure that his career, gets a good start. You know what I mean?
He needs me to do this for him. If Tom Hanks has one fan, it's me. So I ended up watching Captain Phillips, which is a true story. Super
Is that the one about
crazy.
the plane in the landing in the water?
No,
it's a different one.
Yeah, he's a captain. Are you thinking of Castaway?
No. There's a movie about something that happened in New York City.
Oh, you're thinking of Sully.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just
I wasn't wrong. So that is a Tom Hanks movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I may not watch all his movies, but I know of his career. He's doing a good job. He's getting there, He's going
10
places.
out of 10. Yeah. His future is bright. So we ended up watching Captain Phillips, which is a true story about an American ship that's delivering food to Africa or something, and it gets taken over by Somali pirates, and the captain, who's Tom Hanks.
I Am the Captain Now. That one.
Yes. Okay.
That
yeah.
one,
So
okay. I have not seen that either, but I'm aware. Yes.
Well, I wasn't aware of what that meme was about, and I've seen it come up when the new Little Mermaid was released. Somebody used that meme and was like, "I'm the Little Mermaid now," and I was like, "I don't get this. I don't understand the reference. What's the movie?"
Because it's racist. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Patrick explained what the movie was, and I was like, oh, okay. I understood, the context of whatever the joke the fucking person was trying to make with the meme.
Yeah,
but
so funny.
I was more interested in the movie, because I was like, oh, it's a Tom Hanks thing that I haven't seen, so what's that? Really good. Fully shook me to the core.
Yeah?
It surpassed some of my favorite Tom Hanks movies, and it's right up there with Castaway now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw Castaway one time. Well, I saw it when I was a kid and didn't, when you're a little kid, it doesn't really register to you, what the meaning of anything is in that story. And then I saw it again, post-college, and I cried my fucking eyes out
Wilson.
like a little bitch. Not even Wilson. The idea that his wife moved on because she thought he was dead, and then he comes back. That scene at the end where she's, telling him, I have moved on. I thought you were... that fucking destroyed me. I was inconsolable.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. is pretty rough. I mean, yeah, I can't even. I think probably my circumstances are different now because I have a kid with him. But if something happened to Patrick, that's my fiance, I wouldn't like. I'd move on because like we have the kid and I gotta be like strong for her or whatever. But I wouldn't like. I have no interest in dating at all ever again. Like I would rather like move in with you or like a girlfriend and just like live like that. You know what I mean? Where we're like not a couple, but we're like we pay our bills together and we like we watch movies at night and cuddle up with the baby and you know what I mean? Like I'd rather do that.
Yeah, that sounds good. That actually might be where my future's headed.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does actually. Like, I think it would be amazing to have just like a house with a couple good girlfriends. None of us are in relationships. We all, or even if we are, you know, whatever. But like, we all chip in for everything.
It's Golden Girls, but in your 30s.
Like, so if you're not golden, like Silver Girls.
Oh, I guess it would be a different, different tone of metal or whatever.
Just a different element.
Not me trying to figure out the word for element.
How about Plutonium Girls?
There you go.
That sounds like Powerpuff Girls or something.
It's amazing.
I'm into it. All right. I need that morning brew.
Okay. I can... I want to do this with you. This
is
like
don't skip. I thought because like the last couple episodes, like there's one episode where we do morning brew first, then who the fuck are you?
Oh, we do?
Yeah, lately it's been first morning brew, then who the fuck are you?
Oh, well that's wrong. Past us is wrong. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong today.
No, it's fine. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I have some questions too for who the fuck are you, but if we don't have enough time, I can actually no, we will have time because my segment's super short.
Okay. We'll have time. I reckon we'll have time. We'll be okay. Well, okay, so I wanted to do this with you. This is like a really old viral trend at this point. But I'm sure you've seen it like all over TikTok. And it's the he or she or they're a 10 but, and then it kind of comes with a negative thing.
A stipulation.
Yeah. So I didn't do any where it was like he's a 2 or I'm not going to say he. I'm going to say they. So they're a 2 but whatever. I didn't do any of those. This is all they're a 10 but. Yeah. Okay. So my first one for you.
Okay.
They're a 10, but they exclusively listen to pop chart music.
Okay. I like some pop music.
Okay.
So I think I could tolerate that. That's fine.
So they're a 10?
They're a 10.
10, okay. They're a 10, but have a terrible family. Terrible family.
I can't hate on that because I'm a 10 and I have a terrible family. So I would have to be okay with that. Like, just by default. Like, or otherwise I'm a hypocrite.
Fair. That's fair. I get that. Okay. They're a 10, but you have to pay for everything all of the time. There is no fairness. Okay, so like 0 off.
I've done that already. And I married him. I'm good.
Don't love that.
Nope. Okay. Never again.
They're a 10, but only ever want missionary.
Okay, well, can I ask a specific about the missionary?
Sure.
Because, like, missionary is still missionary when your legs are by their face, right?
I think so, right?
Okay, so that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
No, that's fine.
Okay, they're a 10, but they're a virgin.
Did you say that they're a virgin?
Yes.
Oh, so you mean I get to, like, show them everything they ever need to know, and...
You teach them everything.
That's fine. They're still a 10.
Still a 10. Oh, I love that.
10.
Aw. Okay.
I want to be the one that corrupts somebody. You know?
Corrupts. They're a 10, but they only shower twice a month.
Fuck no. I shower twice a day, bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? Twice a month? Are you motherfucking kidding me? No way.
Yeah. We have a little bit of grime going on with this one.
Dude. I do not. That's the one thing I can't stand about hippies. I love hippies, the hippie movement. Bitch, deodorant is not going to kill you. No.
Also, I really want to try those natural deodorants that are actually, there's like natural products that are available now that are like...
Yeah, but do they actually work?
I don't know. I would like to try. I would like to try and see because... Ooh, we both
I'm not
said
going to name names. Okay. I'm not going to name names, but like I know somebody whose mom uses those natural ones. That bitch always smells like BO. Always.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's like, no. I'm sorry. Smelling? Okay. I love men. I also love women. I love people, okay? And it doesn't matter if you look like Evan Peters or I don't even know who else, Kurt Cobain. It doesn't matter if you smell. I have absolutely zero interest and zero, no. The bare minimum, bitch, the bare minimum is to smell
good.
You don't have to smell like cologne.
Sure.
You don't have to smell like a fragrance. Like, you don't have to smell, no. Just smell like you took a shower today.
Yeah, clean it up. Okay, next one. They're a 10, but they're chronically online. Like, from the minute you guys wake up on the phone, Twitter, TikTok, fucking Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest during dinner. You can't go anywhere without this person just, like, being on their phone. On social media, specifically.
Pass.
Okay, so zero for you?
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
It's like, I get it. It's like we're all kind of attached to our phones and our technology to a certain extent, but if it's non-stop, that's not cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I actually was with somebody, this person, and they were chronically online. And what drove me insane about that was like, it was like any moment there was like breathing room, he was on his phone. But then it would also be like, I know you're on your phone. So it would be like, he would be on his phone all the time, but like wouldn't ever respond in a timely fashion. And just to be clear, like I'm not the type of girlfriend that's like, you need to But when you're living with somebody and you're asking questions related to the home that you live in, or like, hey, can you pick this up? Or hey, did you pay this? Or you know what I mean? Like, you cross a line in a relationship where it's like appropriate to not fucking play those stupid I'm not texting back right away games.
Yeah.
So it was like, I know you're ignoring me at this point. So it's like that plus being chronically online. I hate you.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing like when you see like the memes or whatever of like people saying like, I sent you a message on Instagram and you didn't respond and you didn't look at it, but you just fucking posted something. Yeah, it's like that, It's like, I know you're on your fucking phone, bitch.
Yeah, it's rude.
I know you saw my text come through. It takes 2.5 seconds to fucking read and respond to a text.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in saying that, I really do suck at texting back sometimes, but I have a kid and I'm going to always blame it on that. And it's not even like a lie. Like, it's true. Like, I will look at a message, respond in my head, put my phone down, and 3 hours later, after like poops and vomit and changing clothes and giggles, I'm then like, oh yeah, I didn't actually respond. But
yeah, and you're like just going through your full like Jim Halpert phase. You're like, having a baby's amazing. She gets me out of everything.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Okay, I have one more. This is the last one.
Okay.
They're a 10, but they cannot cook. I'm talking scrambled eggs are burnt and raw. Toast is on fire. Nothing at all. They can't even pour you a glass of milk if you drink milk.
So, I drink oat milk because I've always found milk to be disgusting.
Right? Oh my god, yes.
My whole life.
Yeah,
anyway,
same.
In the past I would have said, fine, whatever, doesn't matter. But now that I've dealt with somebody pretty much like that for the past, like, however many years, no.
Okay.
Why don't you make me dinner? How about I ask what's for dinner every once in a while? How about that?
Yeah. That question will send me. I don't know if it's actually a trait that I've picked up from my mom, because she would like freak out if somebody asked her what was for dinner. And I don't know if it's like my issues with food, like those still residual issues. Like if we're talking about, like it's different. It used to be so bad. Like if somebody wanted to go out to eat, I actually had a boyfriend like fully attack me for this. If we wanted to go out somewhere to eat and there wasn't like an immediate like decision on where we were going, I kind of tend to shut down and I get too anxious to decide somewhere, and I'm just like, I'm good. Actually, I don't want anything. And it's not because I'm mad at you, it's because I can't deal with the thought of going into a restaurant, sitting down, ordering, eating, God forbid, dealing with all of that.
Can't
that's
relate.
hard.
Can't relate.
I'm so much better now, though. Like, it actually excites me to think about, like, going, you know what I mean? Like, I wish we still were in the same time, because I'd be like, hey, let's go get lunch, because I'm good at that now.
Oh, I love you.
Okay. I actually have one question before I get into Morning Brew, and this came
I have
up
questions too.
Okay. Can I ask you this one?
Of
I have
course,
to know
you
the
go
answer to
first.
this.
Of course.
Okay, it's a quick one.
Okay.
What's capitalism?
Capitalism is the devil.
Okay, so it's the bad one, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why our society is as fucked as it is right now, especially American society, is because it's capitalism. So capitalism at its core, from what I remember, is like laissez-faire, meaning the free trade. So the open market is like a thing. I'm doing a really bad job of explaining this right now. It's just like, you know, it's about products, and it's about consumerism, and it's about selling you stuff, and it's about getting your money. That's what capitalism is. So laissez-faire being like free market, meaning like if I have a company that sells, I don't know, give me something. A company that sells
Glasses cleaner.
Then like because we're in an open market, there's nothing stopping anybody else from also producing glasses cleaner. Okay, actually, you know how there's like Lysol wipes and Clorox wipes and whatever wipes,
like an abundance of the
like,
same fucking product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like it creates this like you have like choice, right? As a consumer, you have choice. Like you have a decision to make, like which product you're gonna go for or whatever.
Yeah.
Capitalism is also bad, from what I remember in high school. This being explained to me is because the assembly line was invented for like capitalistic purposes. I believe it was Ford, like the car company Ford, that was the first to employ the use of an assembly line. So it's people like I said, assembly line. So it's like there's a conveyor belt and the shit comes down the belt and you're doing one task.
Yeah, so you have like a screwdriver man, and then you have like a painter, and then you have a primer. I fucked that up. I'm not good at capitalism.
No. It's fine. Yeah, good for you. Capitalism sucks. Anyway, so when I had talked about communism a couple episodes ago, I brought up how Marx and Engels, like when they wrote the Communist Manifesto, that was actually one of their biggest points, was that it is detrimental to a human being's experience as a worker to only be doing one thing all day long. So
because you never create anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just a cog.
Okay, so before the conveyor belt, before assembly line work, there was a shoe cobbler, for example. Somebody who made the shoes from beginning to end. And that's why that product was expensive, because of the amount of time that one person took to create that one product from beginning to end.
Yeah.
That's why things are cheaper when they're done assembly line, because you have hundreds of people contributing only just one small piece of their time to doing the one same repetitive thing. And Marx and Engels argued that that's really bad for your like just existence as a person, because you never see the product go from beginning to end. All you see is the one task and the one thing that you're doing in front of you.
Oh my
So there's-
God. I am
so there's-
realizing that our boss that we shared collectively was like trying to form his own, what do you call it?
Assembly line.
Assembly line, right? Because we were like
Mhm.
the initial whatevers, and then the other ones would close the thing, and then the guys would go and host the thing. That's a
Mhm.
fucking assembly line, and no wonder
Mhm.
we hated it.
Yeah, because it was terrible.
Yeah.
And I left,
There was no
and I left.
satisfaction in that.
Yeah, and I left when I was being asked to do things outside of my assembly line
Mm-hmm.
task.
Rightly
that I was
so.
just like, oh, okay, I'm not going to get paid more to do more, then bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God, you're so smart. I love it when you teach me.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. But that's, I mean, I'm doing a really bad job of explaining that, but that's kind of just like,
Makes
in a
sense to me.
nutshell. Yeah, capitalism's not great. It's not good for us as people. Like, it's good for no, not even the economy. It's good for the owner.
The guys who own it.
The
I was gonna
owner.
say, it seems
Yeah,
like there's
it's
only
good.
one person that's benefiting from
Mhm.
this.
It's good for the owner because they're not spending so much money on wages. Because think about it, it's like, okay, so like I'm a delivery driver where I work.
Oh my God, Santa Claus and the elves? Capitalism.
Well, Santa Claus was like invented by the Coca-Cola company or whatever,
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true.
which
But
is
that-
already capitalism because Pepsi
Yeah.
exists.
But you see how they're like subtly trying to like get into our minds and be like, look at how normal and cute this is. Look at how your stuff is made on Christmas if you behave and like buy into our capitalism. Oh my God, I'm not on the side of it. Not a fan. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should do Santa Claus for Wednesday. I think you should make her think it's the Doctor, like from Doctor Who.
You know what? I think that's the thing is like when you have a kid, you want to do all these like exciting things that everyone's excited about, right? Like the traditional bullshit. I think if we don't
I feel like the only reason those things even exist is because of children. Like,
yeah.
like I don't fucking have a Christmas tree in my house, but that's also because I don't have children in my house.
Yeah, like it is like a kid's holiday, but like low key, if we
All
decide
holidays.
if we decide not to do Santa, I think instead of like making something else up or like doing something else, I'm just gonna tell her it's fucking me, bro. Like I'm
Or
buying your
Krampus.
shit.
You
Well,
can still
that's
do
cute.
Krampus.
That's cute. And you know what? She does favor the more spooky looking things. When she's presented with two things, she always goes for the spookier one. Like
That's
she does
because
not.
she's our daughter.
Yeah,
She
she's
does.
beautiful.
She has understood the assignment.
Yeah, from the jump. Like she doesn't care. I put all the Christmas decorations up. She does not care. I was expecting like some giggles and like some whatever. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't care at all. But when she sees Mr. Waternoose on Monsters Inc., the fucking crab spider, she's like, I'm not
She's
kidding.
like, have you seen that TikTok? I don't know if I sent it to you. The TikTok of like, it's like a parent like recording their kid watching Chucky, and it's like the scene of Child's Play when like they're like summoning, like they have their hand on the doll and they're trying to summon the spirit of Charles Lee Ray back into the doll, and the little girl has her Chucky doll in front of her doing the same thing.
I want to get her a Chucky doll knife for Christmas. She'll love it.
I love that. I'll just
Yeah.
have Oakley make another doll.
She is amazing. Honestly,
Shout out.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Shout out to Witching Stitches. Oakley, you're an amazing fucking creator of amazing dolls. I have many of her custom dolls because they're fabulous.
Incredible.
Shout out at Witching
Incredible.
Stitches.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
link. We'll do an Instagram, everything. We'll do the whole thing. She's amazing. My daughter Wednesday loves her Wednesday doll. She's absolutely obsessed with it. She doesn't love it when I put the pink dress because there's like different outfits.
Mhm.
She doesn't love it when I put the pink dress on, so we just keep the black one on. Sometimes I'll
Oh
do the
my
pink to
God.
like match her for like a picture for the aesthetic or whatever.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
the black dress for her. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's my girl.
Yeah, she's
That's my
perfect.
god baby.
Okay, your turn.
All right. My turn? Okay, I have
Yeah.
some questions for you.
Okay.
How would you describe your style?
Metalhead Barbie.
Metalhead Barbie. I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
do lots of I do lots of black, obviously. I dye my hair black. My kind of style affliction is definitely more alt, but I'm also like legally blonde if she was a goth and still wore pink.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I just wear all black all the time.
Yeah, and you're beautiful. Your style is effortless and cool. Like, you're the cool girl.
Oh, thank you. I never thought I'd be the cool girl. Okay. Have you ever tripped or fallen in front of a vast crowd?
Let me think. I've been on a lot of stages. I've been on a lot of runways. And I can't even think. I'm trying to think of like one of those. Oh, yeah. Okay. I have one. It wasn't on stage though. I was waitressing at this place in New York. And thankfully the restaurant itself wasn't that busy, but it happened to be, so this place had a split in the staff, right? Which I think most places do. And you have like squad A that's got all the vets. They've been there for fucking years. They're way too good for you. They're sick of your bullshit. They don't even know you. They've the worst attitude. They're like trying to be the mean girls, but they're just a bunch of cunts. And then you have group B that's all like the cool, like we're new and like we're nice and hey, do you want to get drinks after work? You know, your vibe. Like you're bitches. I happened to be on shift with fucking group A, so I wasn't having a good night. And I was taking a table had just been set, so I was taking a carafe of water to the table, and there just happened to be some ice or whatever on the hardwood floor. I slipped and fell, and it was pretty bad. Like, I hit my knee, but of course, I want the grind to swallow me up and fucking shit me out and just get me out of there. And it just so happens, like, I have a bad leg because of the amount of times I've fallen. I have another one. Why am I telling you this one and not? Okay, anyways, long story short, the bitches are like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, I know you're just asking me for insurance purposes. I'm fine. So the one of the falls that damaged my leg was when I was in Times Square. I'm at the Olive Garden. I'm shit-faced, drunk. And if you've ever been at the Olive Garden in Times Square, you know immediately what happened to me. The stairs are really, really high. They kind of wind, and they've got the little metal lines on them, so it's kind of trippy. So add being shit-faced wasted and wearing heels, and I think I was like mad. I fell down these stairs and busted my shin so bad that to this day I still have nerve damage.
Oof.
And of course my friends that were there were like, you need to stay in here because like this is their fault, and like, you know, they're talking about lawsuits and whatever, and I'm like, bitch, get me outside because I'm so embarrassed. I'm not dealing with this. I don't need it.
Not just that, but you were drunk, so it's really not on them.
I would never. I'm just not that type of person.
Yeah, same.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's too much work, too much effort.
I'm like that. Like, I remember one time I was in the drive-thru line at a McDonald's like years ago, and somebody was backing out of a spot and they hit my car. And they got out of the car and they were like, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah, like and I literally looked at them and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want your insurance. I'm not gonna give you mine. Like, I don't care. Thanks though. Bye.
Yeah. I just came here for my fries. Like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, pretty much. So I feel you. Or kind of how like this past year in February, I am a delivery driver and I got hit by a truck driver.
Oh my God.
And people were like, when I got back to the store, people were like, oh, you should try to get like workman's comp, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like workman's comp is for people who are actually hurt. I had a bruise on my arm after I got hit. Like, kiss from the universe. Like, I don't need... Like, I'm fine. Like, I don't need to lie and, like, make it a bigger deal than it is.
No, and that's the thing, too, is, like, I've never really wanted to go after any benefits or anything that the government might offer people that need it, unless I need it, which I never have, like, touch wood.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just, like, my thing, too. Like, I don't want to invite that, you know? And I also don't want to take it
karma.
From others.
Yeah, and take it from others who actually need it. Exactly. That's how I feel about that. The one time I've ever fallen in front of not the one time. I'm a clumsy bitch, so not the one time. But the one time that sticks out of my mind, I was at the Griffith Observatory in LA, and I was there with my dad's side of the family who raised me. So, like, my family, my grandparents, and my high school boyfriend was with us at the time. And we were just at the observatory, and I saw my mom's mom there, who I don't talk to. I don't like my mom's side of the family. Like, when I saw that woman, I froze, and then immediately I just ran. And I ran out of the observatory through the front main entrance. My boyfriend was, like, following me, and I fucking ran, and I was going down the steps, and I fucking biffed it so hard down the steps. I fell face first, and I was wearing a dress and a thong.
Yes.
So my whole ass. Everybody standing outside the observatory. You're welcome. Saw my whole
you're welcome.
ass. You're welcome. My big
Jande
juicy
has a
ass.
great ass, by the way, listeners. Great ass. Like, that made their days.
It's literally my best asset. But yeah, no, that was embarrassing, but it was funny, and I thought it was hilarious after it happened. So
yeah, that's a little stressful too. Like, hi, grandma.
Oh, dude, and she was wearing these, like, contacts that were, like, blue, like, ice, like, okay, like, oh, you don't know Game of Thrones, but, like, the Ice King, like, ice blue fucking contacts when we're all, like, dark Mexican people, and I'm just like, you look like a snake.
I feel like things that,
so
like,
scary.
rank on cringy for the norm just, like, are extra cringy and not acceptable when you don't like the person. You know what I mean? Like, blue contacts are cute, like, it's whatever. It's kind of like on some people a little bit ick if they're, like, cheap or what, you know what I mean? Like, especially when it's super obvious. But, like, not liking that person, it's like you look like a fool. Like, you look like a fucking idiot.
Well, that's like my mom's whole side of their family. It's like we're all Mexican American, and they like to put on their, like, social media that they're Spaniard. Like, bitch, you're a mestizo. Like, you're not a Spaniard. You're not from Spain. You're from Mexico. Like, take some pride.
Why would they lie?
To whitewash themselves.
Oh, okay.
All right, next question. Does anyone in your family have a nickname for you?
Yes, my nickname is Dolly. I was given it the day I was born, and it is still my nickname to this day, and will be until the day I die, probably.
That's so cute. I didn't know that.
Yeah, my little brother didn't know my name until I don't know what age he was, but he was like, he would just always call me Dolly. And then one day someone said my name, and he was like, who is that? And they were like, your sister? And he was like, oh.
That's so cute. He just thought you were Dolly. I feel like everybody kind of has that when they're little with their parents, because it's like mom or dad, and then they realize, like, you have a name that's not mom and dad? Yeah. So your brother had that for you. He's like, you have a name that's not Dolly? That's so cute. Aww. I love that. Okay. This question, I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
What's your astrological sign?
Oh, I'm a Taurus.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know your sun, moon, and ascending?
Yeah. So my sun is Leo.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it does. The whole thing. You know what? Okay. So this is the thing: is because of my, like, newfound belief system, I kind of low key think it's all bullshit. But at the same time, it makes so much sense that it's like there's got to be some truth there. So, like, I'm very much on the fence with the star sign stuff. But I'm a Taurus on the cusp of an Aries, and that just couldn't be more me, bitch. Like, it just couldn't be more me. With the rising in Leo, like, yeah, I'm burning everything to the grind, and I'm also on fire myself.
Okay, you really need to watch Game of Thrones, Daenerys. Anyway, I'm a Libra. My sun is in Libra. My moon is in Scorpio.
Oh,
which makes so much sense. When I found that out, I was like, oh, no wonder.
That's also why we vibe so hard too, because me and Scorpios are like we're.
And then my rising is, or my ascending is, Pisces.
Okay.
So That's where I am. Libra, Scorpio, Pisces. That's why I'm
I'll
fucked
figure
up.
out what mine are for next week and update you. I can't
All
remember
right.
the rest of them.
Okay. How old were you when you had your first boyfriend / girlfriend?
I was old. I didn't kiss a boy until I was 15. Same year I kissed a girl. So I was kissing
Knocked
everybody.
it all out. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just like
I kissed
ready to
everybody.
start
I kissed
kissing.
people's boyfriends. I kissed their girlfriends on purpose. On
You
fucking
kissed their-
purpose.
Yeah, you kissed their toads.
Yeah. I was kissing
Yeah.
everybody. I was 15 when I kissed my first time, and then I was like 18 when I lost my virginity. So I would say that I was probably 15, 16, first like boyfriend, you know?
Yeah. I had my first kiss like when I was 4.
Aw.
That's fucked up to say out loud. I kissed
It was like a
lots of
peck.
boys.
It was like a peck though, right? Like a little on the playground.
No, it was like fully making out with like an older boy. That's
my
really
God.
bad, huh? I was like,
Yeah.
I was like 4 or 5, and he was like, I don't know, like 7, 8.
It says
Like-
way more about him than it does about you, though. Let me just say.
Well,
Like,
he was
you're
also a little
baby.
kid.
I
He
mean,
was
yeah,
also a
he's
little kid, though.
Yeah, he's also a little kid, but you're a baby. Like 4 is a
I
baby.
guess. I don't know. I don't blame him. It's not his fault. I was the one that
blame
was
him. It was
rearing.
cute.
I was rearing to go. I was like shoving my tongue down his throat. Anyway, then I had like boyfriends and stuff, junior high, even like late elementary school, and then, but I wouldn't say that. Like my first real boyfriend was my high school sweetheart from the age of 14 to 24. I was with him. So
Wow,
that
that's
was
a
my first
long ass
boyfriend.
time.
Yeah.
Wow, you committed for your first one.
Apparently, I do that.
Yeah,
I just-
that's full
I last a
throttle.
while,
That's all
I
in.
guess, with people. I don't know. I don't know.
I think first legitimate boyfriend
okay.
I had, I must have been 18. I would have been 18.
I'm jealous. I was 13 when I lost my virginity, so I to a 16-year-old boyfriend. I know. And when I think about that, I'm just like, ugh. That guy was 16. This is why you need to educate your children to only date people the same age as them. Because
Wait a minute, I'm having a revelation.
yeah, because I was 13, like fucking giving blowjobs to a 16-year-old because he was my boyfriend.
Yeah.
16 and 13 are really fucking different.
That's a big gap. Yeah. Well, now I'm realizing that I had a boyfriend, and this wasn't a boyfriend that I was sleeping with, so I guess that's why I don't really register it as like a serious one. So like all of those, you know what I mean? But I know, so my first kiss must have happened before I was 15 because I was seeing this guy when I was 14. So my first kiss would have been 14 because then I later got with this guy who happened to be a friend of the guy, like, whatever.
Okay.
And he was 18. So I'll say 14 and 18 is a pretty big gap. And I think he kind of realized what was going on. I specifically remember being at his house. We were lying on his bed, fucking twin bed. And I was watching whatever was on his TV. And this is how you know I was uncomfortable because it was football. It was like soccer. And I don't fuck with that sport. So you know that I was uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, I'm so interested in this. I'm not. But I realized that I'm in this guy's bed. We're technically boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with this. And I think it clicked for him too. I think he must have realized, like, I'm 18, she's 14 going on 15. Too big of a gap, you know?
Yeah, I think that when you're in your adolescence, because of your brain and your hormones, like, developing and being crazy and wild, it's like, it's too big of a difference. 1 year is really too big of a difference, like, at that age. So, shout out to all you parents out there. If you have young kids, always just let them know that they should only be dating people who are the same age as them. Otherwise, you're going to have 13-year-olds giving 16-year-olds blowjobs in alleyways.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, definitely not. All right, last question. Do you think people are mostly good or mostly evil, and why?
I I go back and forth with the question personally, like on the regular, and I have to believe that people are mostly good, but because of the industry that I work in and the fact that I probably am chronically online myself, I see a lot of fucked up videos. It kind of makes me think like, okay, so I might feel that people are generally good more, but why do I only see the bad? I'm gonna say good. I'm gonna say good because I think push come to I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay.
A gun to your head, you might fucking become the most selfish person in the world. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think people are mostly bad.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
like
people are
right in the middle. I can't put a foot on either.
I think people are mostly evil, and I think that we as human beings should recognize that. Maybe it's because I have had a troublesome life, and the people closest to me, my parents, who were supposed to be my caretakers and protectors, were the very people who were hurting me and traumatizing me at every turn. So that's part of it. And then on top of it, I also listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and stuff. So I think that maybe just hearing about the depravity that some people can employ in their lives, like that alone. Like, have you ever heard about Israel Keys?
No.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that like kidnapped a bunch of girls, like 3 girls at different times, and like just had them chained in his house. And he lured these girls because he had a daughter the same age as them, so they knew his daughter.
Ugh.
And he offered like rides home to these young girls, and they're like felt safe, like, oh yeah, this is so and so's dad, like I'm gonna
so fucked
just
up.
get a ride really quick. And then he like held these young girls like captive in his house and raped and tortured them and had a child with one of them and like all kinds of shit. Just the worst. It's like when I hear shit like that, I'm just like, oh no, yeah, like human beings are bad and we all have it in us to be fucking bad.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like when I think like, oh, I think most people are good. I just like I'll put my feelings right now in a scene of a movie that you're very familiar with to maybe try it because I can't figure out the words to explain this. So Billy Zane in Titanic, when it's
my
the
favorite movie of all time. I have a child.
Situation.
I have a child. Yes.
To me, is like it gives me the heebie-jeebies so much because I'm like, that is fucking so much of a representation of what I feel like 80%, 75%, 90%, I don't know, of what the general ass people will do. They will take a child and use it for their own, like, he's not rescuing that little boy in that scene. He doesn't give a fuck about that little boy. Actually, he left that little boy alone.
Girl.
Oh, really? Oh, my bad.
Yes. It's a little girl.
He initially leaves this child the first time he saw them.
He sees her crying and is like,
care.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. And then realizes like, oh, I can use them to get on a lifeboat, and then goes back and gets her and gets on the thing. Disgusting. Mm-hmm. And that just makes me fucking hate people so much because I'm like, you know what? Yeah. People fucking do that shit.
People suck, and we need to start recognizing that, acknowledging it, and confronting it. Because I feel like it's bullshit that we think that, or that we try to think that people are good. It's kind of the same thing when, like, somebody who's been really shitty their whole lives dies, and then all of a sudden everybody has only nice things to say about them just because they died.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mom and Dad, I'll have plenty to say about you.
Yeah, well, and that's an important thing to keep in mind, too. Like, a lot of people let so much shit fly and let so much shit go because it's family, and it's like, no, those are the people that are going to hurt you more often than not because they're closer to you. They have the opportunity to do it, and they have an excuse to get away with it. And it's like, no, let's not. Like, listeners, if somebody is treating you like bullshit, crossing your boundaries, fucking abusing you, any of the number of things, even if you don't like them, they're racist, they're whatever, you don't have to deal with them. You don't. Circumstances are different. Maybe that's like my privilege speaking. Like I was able to move out and like, you know what I mean? Maybe circumstances, sometimes you are stuck. Yeah, but that respect doesn't have to, you don't have to respect that person. And when you eventually do move on, they don't have to be a part of your life.
Yeah, 100%. You know that term or that phrase that's like blood is thicker than water? The actual phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So it actually means the opposite.
Yeah, it does.
What our shorthand.
How fucked up is that people have been using that against people for so long in the wrong context.
Yeah. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Wow.
So my bond with you is stronger than my bond with anybody in my family. And that's because you and I choose to be friends.
Yeah, exactly. I always think that that's a much stronger relationship anyways. Like, I'm at the point in my life where I do choose to have my biological parents in my life. And I think,
that's great.
You know, yeah, like this might be a little personal, but like my brother chooses not to.
Right.
And
that's his prerogative, yeah.
I respect
He's
that
an adult,
decision.
and
I
that's his
understand that
choice.
decision. And that's, you know, I never push it like, oh, you should bring mom. I'm never going to do that.
Nope.
I'm never going to say that.
Nope, because he's an adult and he's his own person.
Yep.
And every person is their own universe, and he has the right to choose.
Yeah, and that's it.
Just as everybody else does. So, listeners, if you have toxic people in your life, whether you're related to them or not, you don't need them. Cut them out like the cancer that they are.
Yes. Very good advice.
All right, well, that's all I had for Who the Fuck Are You?
Who the fuck are you? Well, I have morning brew.
I want the morning brew, baby.
I'm so excited about the first one because, and maybe I'm wrong for this. Correct me if I'm wrong or tell me if this is a bad take, but I'm like a Cleopatra fan. Is that a bad thing?
Okay.
Okay, well, anyways.
I'm sorry, you were cutting out for a second. What was that?
Oh, I'm a Cleopatra fan.
Okay.
The pharaoh?
Yeah.
Like, not
the queen.
Oh my god, I just unlocked a memory. Do you remember the girl group Cleopatra? Cleopatra, coming at ya. Also a fan of them.
Oh my god, no. But that's hilarious. I don't know what that is. But that's awesome.
With these three girls. It was like a little girl group, and I think that was like their only song. I don't know. I'll find it and I'll like send it to you because they were everything. But like the Cleopatra, before she died, right? Just for some context here before I get into the story. Before she died, she said, quote, "No man will find my tomb," which I just love. I love that. And I honestly kind of think that we should respect that and just like not even look for her. But maybe these archaeologists have their reasons. I'm not sure. But I do know that the lead archaeologist who's like heading this adventure is a female. So at least there's that. But nobody has been able to find Cleopatra's tomb, like, since she died. And this has been, like, a couple of years. Like, she's been gone for a little bit. Nobody's been able to find anything.
Okay.
But they have found... All right, I'm going to read you a little bit of this article. Underneath a temple in the ancient ruined city of Taposiris Magna on the Egyptian coast. I believe this is, like, Alexandria region? I could be wrong. Never mind. On the Egyptian coast, archaeologists have uncovered a vast, spectacular tunnel that experts are referring to as a geometric miracle.
Okay.
During ongoing excavations and exploration of the temple, Kathleen Martinez of the University of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic and colleagues uncovered the structure 13 meters, that's 43 feet, below the ground. The 2-meter tall tunnel has been hewn through an incredible 1,305 meters, that's about 4,281 feet of sandstone. So this super intricate, crazy tunnel underneath this temple, right? So while the Tapiosiris Magna Tunnel isn't without... I'm sorry. I'm home alone and I heard a noise and I got scared immediately. At least I have this boomerang to protect me.
That's just because you're Australian. You just have boomerangs laying around all over the place.
I'm not even sure if I've ever thrown a boomerang in my life.
You're a bad Australian person.
Parts of the Tapiosiris Magna Tunnel are submerged in water, though putting aside its resemblance to the... Ooh, I'm gonna butcher this. Upalinos Tunnel, its purpose is currently unknown. So Martinez, our head girl, has been working in Tapiosiris Magna since 2004 in search of the lost tomb of Cleopatra. She believes that the tunnel could be a promising lead. So previously, excavations have yielded clues that seem to point to the famous queen and the last of the... Oh, I'm gonna butcher this too. Ptolemies? I think that's like Cleopatra's people.
Okay.
So Tapiosiris Magna was founded around 280 BCE by the son of Alexander the Great's renowned general and one of Cleopatra's forebearers. She ruled until 51 BCE until her death by unaliving in 30 BC. So what does that make her, like 19?
Don't ask me to do math. How many times do I have to tell you?
What's 51 minus 30? 21. I'm so stupid.
You're not stupid. I'm just stupider.
She was 21. The temple, the team believes, was dedicated to the god Osiris and his queen, the goddess Isis, the deity with whom Cleopatra courted a strong association. So Cleopatra was just mega stan of Isis, the goddess. Coins bearing the names and likeness of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great have been found there, as well as figurines of Isis. So clues, right? They find this super fucking, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, complex underground tunnel that they've never found before.
Yeah.
And they're finding, like, figurines of Isis. They're finding coins that look like Cleopatra and Alexander the Great. So they're like,
what?
We're here. Burial shafts containing Greco-Roman burials have also been found in the temple. It's possible that, if they're to be found there at all, Cleopatra and her husband Mark Antony have been interred in similar tombs. It's too early to tell if the new tunnel could lead to these long-lost tombs, but future work could yield more information. Wow. I really kind of just feel like leave her be.
Honestly, yes. I've had this conversation with people in the past. It's like, that's great for, like, history and whatever, like, learning about these ancient civilizations, but, like, these people were entombed in such a way that, like, they are not supposed to be disturbed. And I think it's fucking disrespectful to disturb them. I don't give a shit that it's for science. I don't give a shit that it's for history.
Yeah.
Like, they did not consent to having their remains tampered with.
They couldn't have gone further out of their way to not have their remains fucked with, if anything. The way that like, what I know about Egyptian kind of, you know, burials and, like, everything that kind of goes on, it's very complex, it's very in-depth, it's very ceremonial, and it's, like, to bust... I mean, it's kind of like a movie trope, too. Like, you open the tomb, like, you open the sarcophagus, and it's, like, cursed. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to do it.
And you should be cursed because somebody didn't want their remains fucked with. So I don't feel bad for you if you get an ancient Egyptian curse put on you.
Yeah, and it's also like, how come it's one rule for one and one for the other if you have the guise of, like, science or history on your belt? Because if we were to go bury someone, that's next week. If we were to go dig somebody up for, like, interest or morbid fascination, we would get fucking arrested for tampering with a corpse or whatever the charge is.
Yeah, for grave digging and yeah, exactly, like tampering with dead body and stuff like that. Like that's not okay. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Why is it okay when it's ancient peoples? Like leave their shit alone.
Yeah. Let Cleopatra sleep. Plus, like, God knows what you'll unlock. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's
no
like
shit.
You want the end of the world. It's like you want like some crazy apocalypse with all this stuff.
Some people do. I've heard.
Some people do. It's like there's a war on women.
It's almost as if there's a war on women or something. It's so fucking weird, dude. It's crazy.
Strange.
What a concept.
Okay. So I have a couple more articles I'll run through. These are going to be raw reads now. Like, I came across the Cleopatra thing and I just really wanted to talk about it. But these are raw reads. Okay. Investigators identify foot found in Yellowstone hot pool.
Ew, just 1 foot?
Just one
foot? Oh my god.
1 foot. Yeah. But listen, like, this is actually pretty interesting. I just saw the little blurb that's underneath the headline, the subheading, if you may. Park officials said the unattached appendage belonged to, should I say his name? No. Belonged to a 70-year-old man from Los Angeles, but it isn't clear how he ended up in the spring. Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, this is where this foot was found floating in a Yellowstone National Park hot pool last summer, and it belonged to... I just said all that. I'm sorry. I'm not good at reading, apparently, sometimes. Because I'll read, like, the heading, the subheading, and then the beginning of the article is the same fucking thing I just said twice.
It's okay. You're not good at reading. I'm not good at math. It's fine.
I'm also not good at math. Let's not pretend on that. I'm not good at any of the subjects.
Shut up.
It's just facts, though. Like, I will say I'm intelligent, but I am not educated. I will say that with my whole chest.
There's a difference.
There is a difference. It still isn't clear how the man ended up in the spring, but that investigators don't suspect foul play. What? Investigators don't suspect foul play, even though they find just a singular foot of this man. Park staff find his partial foot inside of a shoe in Abyss Pool in the park's West Thumb Geyser Basin in August. Investigators concluded that whatever happened to him occurred on the morning of the 31st of July, but nobody saw it. They identified him through a DNA analysis and notified his family. Abyss Pool is 53 feet deep and about 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius. In such hot springs, hot water cools as it reaches the surface and then sinks as it is replaced by hotter water from below. The circulation prevents the water from reaching the temperature needed to set off an eruption like those that happen in the park's geysers.
Whoa.
You want to know something wild?
Always.
That's the end of the fucking article.
Oh my god. So just this guy's foot was found?
Okay, so you know what?
In a shoe. A severed foot in a shoe. That's horrifying.
So actually, I have something for you on this. This is just me talking. I don't have any notes on this. I remember either reading an article or like watching a piece about this, and how there are quite a few spots up here, like the Northwest, like Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, like those kind of spots. Where they find these feet inside shoes kind of on the fucking regular, right? Like, I'm not saying...
Shut the fuck up. Are you fucking serious?
Well, here's the theory, right? Runners, joggers, hikers, right? What's the theory? I'm like coming into this with so much conviction and I don't remember. It's something like these hikers or whatever like break their ankles and then I don't know. Yeah,
they break their ankles clear off the rest of their fucking bodies. I don't understand.
Not yet. Anyway, I have never.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I remember like I've seen something about this before, and like in like one spot somewhere, like maybe I'll give you guys an update next week. Like I'll do some actual research because I'm like talking out of my hole here because I can't remember specifically, but like it's not actually as rare of an occurrence as you think it might be, and it has something to do with like hiking or whatever. Again, with these fucking outdoor activities, just don't.
I was gonna say, yeah, exercise is bad for you. It's dangerous. Don't do it. You'll lose your whole foot clear off your body, apparently.
Yeah. Driver gets $553 ticket for driving with snow on the windshield.
That's a really steep ticket price.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Jeez,
You know,
that's like almost as much as like what you get for like not wearing a seatbelt. Jesus.
Yeah. It says in the headline it's 553, but it says within the article that it was 533. But then it says again later in the article that it was 553. So I'm going to go with the 550. This happened right next door in Bremerton, Washington. State Patrol trooper issued a $553 ticket to a driver after the person drove more than 5 miles with their vehicle and windshield almost completely covered in snow. You know, I have a theory, and I haven't even read the rest of this. I bet you, because there has been such an influx of people moving to the Northwest from states like California, Vegas, and stuff, there's a really bad
that they're not
opinion.
aware. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that. Like, I understand kind of like maybe not thinking. I don't, actually, because I need to see the whole thing. I need to see everything around me. I would just never do this.
Yeah.
And it almost seems like something maybe someone that's used to the snow would do more than someone who's new to the snow.
Okay.
You know? But I wonder if the steepness of the fine... This is just an opinion. I'm going to read the rest of the article. The opinion on all of these Californians moving up here is a very, very negative one. People aren't super happy about it because what's happening, right? I don't hate anybody from California, obviously. But what I will say is you can't move from a city to a small town in the Northwest and expect it to be the same as San Diego or wherever you're from. Because it's not. It's a different time. It's a different lifestyle. Don't snap your fingers at the locals, and the locals aren't going to get mad. You know, that's basically all it is. Yeah. Well, and then, of course, like with the rent increasing and stuff, because there's more of a budget from certain types of people that are moving up here, it's kind of fucking over everybody else. But I think it's just kind of widespread inflation. Yeah, it's happening everywhere. Like, we're not special.
Yeah.
So the State Patrol
special? No.
Oh, I meant like we up here in the Northwest. You are very special.
No, I meant. Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
The State Patrol received a report about the person driving erratically along the SR-16. That's not how you say that, I'm sure. South of Bremerton. When pulled over, the driver reportedly told the trooper that their windshield wipers weren't working. The driver received the $553 ticket for second-degree negligent driving. Wow. Steep ticket. But, I mean...
That is steep, yeah.
I wonder if they brushed off their windshield or made any kind of attempt before hitting the road. Yeah, that's scary, though. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever, like, been in the car when there's a snowstorm. I have numerous times, and I fucking hate it so much.
I just hate the snow. I just hate the snow.
I'm not really a fan either. But, like, the driving in the snow freaks me the fuck out. Especially when it's a whiteout and you can't turn your lights on because it reflects back, and then you're even more blind. You can't, like, everybody...
God, that is so scary.
It's so scary. Sometimes you can't see where the road is. So, like...
Oh my God!
You don't see you don't
just,
see
like,
anything.
Fucking drive right off a cliff? Jesus.
Yeah.
No,
like
thank you.
You have to know where you're going, and you have to, like, know how to drive in the weather up here. Otherwise, it's a disaster. There's people in ditches every day when there's a snowstorm. Or even just a light snow. People are crashing.
What the fuck? Just don't drive. What?
Oh, yeah. Do what I do, just stay home. But, I mean, some people have to go to work and all that, so.
Snow day. I'm not going anywhere. Gross.
Yeah.
Work
Yeah,
from home.
I don't love it. This one's for you. New York City seeks hands-on leader in anti-rodent fight. I'm excited about this one.
Why is this for me?
This is from AP News. I'm just going to read this first little bit because it's funny. Hit rats? Are you a somewhat bloodthirsty New Yorker with excellent communication skills and a general aura of badassery? Then you might have what it takes to be the city's new rat czar.
I'm gonna die. I literally have juice bumps all over.
Yeah.
Gross. I mean,
Mayor?
I do hate rats. I don't know that I could go around killing rats.
No,
Ugh.
this sounds like the worst job for you. Mayor Eric Adams' administration posted a job listing this week seeking someone to lead the city's long-running battle against rats. The official job title is Director of Rodent Mitigation, although it was promptly dubbed the Rat Czar. Salary range, you ready for this?
God,
Salary range is $120,000 to $170,000.
All right, that might be enough for me to start murdering rats.
That's a six-figure fucking job. That's more than I make in 3 years.
That's crazy.
The ideal candidate is highly motivated and somewhat bloodthirsty, determined to look at all solutions from various angles, including improving operational efficiency, data collection, technology innovation, trash management, and wholesale slaughter. Sign me up. I love rats. I think they're cute, but you're selling this job to me. Wholesale slaughter? I'm here for it.
Yeah, I guess if I was going to want to slaughter anything, it would be rats. Because I don't feel bad about that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would feel really bad. I really would. Because I think
I'm
they're
literally
so cool.
gagging. I can't.
The posting is whimsical, but the job is daunting. New York City leaders have been trying to control the rodent population for generations with mixed results. Sighting of rats in parks, sidewalks, and other places in the city have recently increased. City rats have survived a multi-million-dollar effort under former mayor Bill de Blasio that focused on more trash pickups and better housing inspections in targeted neighborhoods. The city also launched a program to use dry ice to suffocate rats in their hiding spots. Aww.
Sorry.
Two very different reactions.
Fuck them.
Adams, when he was bureau president of Brooklyn, they don't deserve it. Adams, when he was bureau president,
rats.
But they're so cute. They're little.
No, they're not. They're so big. They're so ugly and so gross, and they have diseases.
I don't think they all have diseases. I think just as many people have diseases as rats do.
There are more rats than there are people.
Well, thank God for that. Adams, when he was bureau president of Brooklyn, once demonstrated a trap that used a bucket filled with a toxic soup to drown the rats lured by the scent of food. Now the Adams' administration is looking for a top rat bureaucrat to become the public face of the city's eradication and education efforts. Cunning, ferocious, and prolific, New York City's rats are legendary for their survival skills, but they don't run this city. We do, claimed the posting. I love it. It's so
sure?
New York. It's so New York. I just love it. Applicants are expected to have a crafty sense of humor and to lead from the front using hands-on techniques to exterminate rodents with authority and efficiency. So do we need any experience, or am I moving back to New York to apply for this job?
Dude, if you move to New York, I'm going back to New York.
Of course. We run the city, not the rats.
Yeah, what the fuck? We can afford a studio apartment for me, you, Patrick, and the baby.
Oh, yeah, that's probably about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I have 2 more. This one's crazy. I don't know if it's sad yet, so I'm going to check my tone while I dip my toe into this. Germany
Okay.
woman arrested for shutting roommate's ventilator off. Yeah, but where do you hear the reason? Where do you hear her reason? That was like kind of what got me. Okay, so I'm seeing attempted manslaughter, and I'm thinking that the victim did not die. So I think we're okay here.
Yeah. Yeah.
A 72-year-old woman has been arrested after she allegedly switched off a hospital roommate's ventilator in the hospital, bitch. Bold. Twice. She did this twice.
That is attempted fucking murder. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna reread this sentence because it's like, it's not funny. You guys never, ever, ever fucking do this. Never do this. It's not okay. But I'm gonna reread this sentence because you're gonna see why.
Okay.
A 72-year-old woman has been arrested after she allegedly switched off a hospital roommate's ventilator twice because she was annoyed by the sound it made.
That is the ultimate Karen.
Honestly.
Ultimate Karen. Karen has reached a new level.
Yeah, the king of the Karens. The woman was jailed on suspicion of attempted manslaughter following the incident at a hospital in the southwestern city of Mannheim. Police and prosecutors said in a statement that the suspect is alleged to have switched off the 79-year-old woman's ventilator, and despite then being told by staff that it was vital for the patient, switched it off again later in the evening. So they told her, bitch, don't do that she'll die. And she did it anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, she needs to be... I mean, she's so old, too. Like, what do you do?
This is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say that human beings are evil.
Yeah, because it was an annoying sound. Bitch, honestly.
Who cares? Put on some fucking earbuds.
The older patient had to be revived, and while her life is not in danger, still requires intensive care. So she's, like... She had to be revived, and she's still having to go through this.
Literally somebody ill and dying, and you go and unplug their shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you.
Wow.
Ugh.
Gross.
Okay. Our last...
I hate people.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate her specifically today, right now. This one's good. This is a nice one to end on. This is a little bit more upbeat. The Goonies house is for sale.
The Goonies?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Goonies.
In Portland, Oregon. Good news for fans of the Goonies. The old Victorian home featured in the film is on sale in Astoria, Oregon, and potential buyers are considering making it more accessible to the public.
Oh, that's cool.
The realtor said, "We have a few interested parties right now. It seems to be everybody's intention to be able to open up the house a little bit more and have more access." That's nice, because
that's
I would
super cool.
I would move in and honestly, like, put the curtains up, like, leave me alone. That's what I would do.
Yeah, for sure.
This is nice.
I mean, that is super nice. Emma's little brother, his godfather is Josh Brolin, who's the older brother in Goonies.
Wait,
well,
so
Josh Brolin is also Thanos now, but
oh, I did not know that.
Movies.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, smash or pass Thanos?
Smash.
Smash. Okay, yeah. We're in agreement on that one, obviously. Yeah.
With his ball sack chin. I'm into it.
Oh yeah, it is kind of like a ball sack. It doesn't turn me off either. I'm into it. Weird chins are interesting, and they're like handsome. They're distinguished.
I like big noses normally on men. Yeah. I get it. I'm into it.
The 1896 home with sweeping views of the Columbia River flowing into the Pacific Ocean has been listed with an asking price of $1.7 million, where it's described as fully loaded with history, nostalgia, and an iconic level of fame. Since the movie hit theaters in 1985, fans have flocked to the home in northwestern Oregon's historic part of Astoria. The city celebrates Goonies Day on the 7th of June, and that's the film's release date, and welcomes thousands of people for the event. Ooh, we should go.
That's so cute, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I love that.
The owner or former owner of the home was known to have been largely welcoming to visitors, but she lived in the house full time, and the constant crowds were a strain that prompted her at times to close it to foot traffic. Girl, fair enough, because I would be like,
This is too much. Yeah.
Once a month.
Too much, yeah.
Once a month.
Yeah.
After the film's 30th anniversary drew about 1,500 daily visitors in 2015,
Wow.
she posted a no trespassing sign prohibiting tourists from walking up to the property. She reopened it to the public this past August. I'm on her side with that. You know, I can only be on her side.
That's her home. Like, yes, it's an iconic place that you know, a movie took place at, but it's still like that's somebody's private home.
Yeah, she lives there full time. Like, leave her alone.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes she doesn't want to put makeup on or like a bra on that day. Like, it's fine.
Poor lady, she probably hears, "Hey, you guys!"
Oh my
like,
God.
outside her fucking house,
all
like all day, every day. She's probably that's why she's moving. She's fucking sick of it.
Yeah, she's over you guys. You ruined it. City officials who restricted parking in the area have long sought to mediate the tensions between residents and the fans hoping to see and photograph the location. Quote, while the owner of this location from the Goonies is a fan of the movie and enjoys chatting with the visitors making the trek to Astoria to see the film locations, as you can imagine, it gets hard having hundreds of people crowding into your personal space every single day. And that was the Chamber of Commerce wrote. Yeah, this is a really long article. It kind of keeps going, but that's the tea. That's really just the tea on that, is that it's for sale.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Too bad I can't afford it.
1.7 mil, you know what? Like, as much as that's such a large amount that I cannot see in the foreseeable future me ever affording, it's actually, like, not that fucking much right now in our current market, which is shocking.
No, it's not, actually. You're right.
Like, that was probably, like... I mean, maybe the location has something to do with this, but, like, taking into consideration that it's so famous and it's historic... Like, it can't have more than 2 bedrooms for that price. Because if it's a 4-bedroom house, like, that's a fucking bargain. For it being the Goonies house, and historic, and a nice house, and 4-bedroom, and it's 2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your morning brew.
Thank you. All right, so I have only a little bit of anal for you today.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Just a little bit. Just because... I knew that this was going to be for you. I want you to have the time you need to go off on this subject matter. So I just have a little bit of topic analysis for you.
Okay, I'm excited.
Right. So the word fashion was originally Middle English, and it meant to make, shape, or appearance. Also a particular make or style. And then from Old French, façon, I'm sure I did not say that right, or from the Latin faction, which means do or make. The first records of the word fashion come from around 1300. It ultimately comes from the Latin faction, meaning a making, company, or party. All right, so a little wiki dive into the history of fashion design. It refers specifically to the development of the purpose and intention behind garments, shoes, and accessories, and their design and construction. The modern industry based around firms or fashion houses run by individual designers started in the 19th century with Charles Frederick Worth, who beginning in 1858 was the first designer to have his label sewn into the garments he created. So, as you know, all those fashion houses now, right? Everything says Gucci, it says Prada, it says, the name. Yeah. So this guy, Charles Frederick Worth, he was the first to do that beginning in 1858. Fashion started when humans began wearing clothes. These clothes were typically made from plants, animal skins, and bone. Before the mid-19th century, the division between haute couture and ready-to-wear did not really exist, but the most basic pieces of female clothing were made to measure by dressmakers and seamstresses, dealing directly with the client. Most often, clothing was patterned, sewn, and tailored in the household. When storefronts appeared selling ready-to-wear clothing, this need was removed from the domestic workload. Which I just think is really interesting because, my grandmother, who's from Mexico, told me that when she's a very tall woman, and she told me that when she was young, her mother, who was not formally educated, but was just like this whip, just smart woman. And she would go into town and she would see like what was in style, like in the windows at the stores, and then go home and be able to basically just take my grandmother's measurements and make her clothing.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother's body type was just so different for what was ready to wear at the stores at the time, that her mother would make her own clothes, to the point where, like, my whole life I've seen my grandmother make her own pants and her own shorts. She'll go to like the store, like Ross, whatever, buy like a top or buy some tops, and then she would go to downtown LA and find fabrics that match the color or the patterns of the tops that she would buy. And then she would go home and she would make her pants and her shorts out of the fabric that she bought in downtown LA. So that just was very reminiscent of that for me, just knowing that, you know, her mom had to make her clothes because she didn't fit into the clothes that were ready to wear at the time.
Well, yeah, and then buying made to measure is so expensive. Like, I always thought it was interesting, the difference between couture and made to measure. Like, the word couture is, like, so cool, and, like, everybody wants that, you know what I mean? But, like, in all reality, made to measure, which sounds like kind of more of, like, a homely name, is actually the one that's more, like, for you, like, more custom.
Right, yeah.
And I believe couture as well. Technically, this might not be true anymore because everybody's using the word couture, but technically, I think to be couture, you have to be either based out of Paris or, like, blessed by Paris fashion gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. Paris fashion gods. Okay, so in the creation of any era of fashion, it's important to understand the role of the designer. Throughout history, many believe designers to do one simple job: design. However, designers must take into account the beliefs and needs of people during that time, the economic status, and the desire of those looking to buy. A designer must not only create for themselves, but also for the population. Famous designer, I'm gonna fuck this up, Margiela, claims that fashion is technical and has a direct path. It is not simply just art. While fashion can take creativity, one must know what is the correct move in order to find success. Everything is very calculated for these designers. In the early 20th century, fashion magazines and newspapers began to include photographs and became even more influential. Throughout the world, these magazines were greatly sought after and had a profound effect on public taste. Talented illustrators, among them Paul Uribe, Georges Lapape, Erte, and Georges Barbier, drew attractive fashion plates for these publications, which covered the most recent developments in fashion and beauty. Perhaps the most famous of these magazines was La Gazette du Bon Ton, which was founded in 1912 by Lucien Vogel and regularly published until 1925. So, the dark side of the fashion industry on mindful.com provides a sociological and criminological analysis of the fashion industry, more specifically the social, macro, and micro scale, and environment harms of fast fashion, such as pollution, excessive water waste, poor working conditions and wages for workers, gender violence, overconsumption, and individuals' mental health and beliefs.
Yeah, I almost went off entirely for today's episode at the end of kind of the main segment talking about fast fashion. But I think I kind of ended up nixing it because I just got so angry and wrapped up in the main topic that we're talking about. But fast fashion, you guys, I know it's hard. I know when you have, like, I'm also guilty of this. Like, the Shein app is so easy. They've got the cutest stuff. It's really cheap. $5 for a top. I can't afford, you know what I mean? I can't afford to spend more than $5 on the top. I'm not going to anytime soon. But the problem with these companies is not only they're detrimental to the environment. Shein puts out 5,000 products a day.
What?
A day. because they're in everything. They're not just women's fashion anymore. They also do men's, kids, home goods, electronics. They're putting shit out on blast all the time. It takes like, don't quote me on this, but it takes something like 8 gallons of water to make one t-shirt. So
what?
Don't quote me on that, but it's a ridiculously high amount of water to create one t-shirt.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. So I implore you guys to check out thrift stores. I know it's a little bit more work, but thrift stores, and if you don't want to leave the house, I get it. There's Depop. There's what's the other one that's really good? There's Mercari is pretty good. There's a huge list of these basically thrift stores that are apps for your phone. So they're just as easy as Shein. They're just as accessible. If you were scrolling and you find a deal, sometimes they're just as cheap. I mean, they're never going to be just as cheap. You can't compare with those prices, but just bear in mind when you spend that $5 on the shirt, somebody's not getting paid a fair wage. And there was a huge scandal with Shein, like literally, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just disgusted by this company.
Go off. This is why my segment was short. My segment's done. Go off.
Oh. Well, Shein specifically, there was a scandal that like kind of blew up on TikTok fairly recently where people were buying Shein stuff and doing like unboxing and showing the tag on the inside that would read, help me, I need help, my tooth hurts, I'm in pain, like all these different things coming from presumably the workers putting these together. Yeah. So you guys just look it up on TikTok, do a little bit of research on these companies that you're buying from. It's not just Shein, it's also fucking Fashion Nova. Like, this is alleged, okay? This is my opinion. Yeah. But like, these companies aren't just Shein, it's also that other one, Romley, same company. You guys, you can look at these websites, you can look at these apps, and you can see that they're built by the same people. Yeah. Fashion Nova is a huge one. And they are promoted nonstop by influencers and celebrities because they're paying them for that attention. But they're another fast fashion one. They're not good for people. They're not good for the environment. And I know it's hard. Like, literally, I know it's hard. Like, I have so many things in my house that I bought from Shein. I'm not even going to pretend that I haven't fallen into this as well. Delete the app off your phone. That's like first step. Just take away the temptation, and then get these thrifting, upcycle apps on your phone. They're way better for the environment and for people. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's like literal like SOS like messages. Oh my god. Yeah. That's crazy. That's so scary.
I know. Well, of course I ran to because I got some stuff for Wednesday. And I have my own tops. Actually, maybe this top I'm even wearing right now is from Shein. I'm not gonna lie. Like this undershirt, like the black one that I'm wearing. So I checked all the tags looking for these and I didn't find any. But people were showing, like, it looked pretty legit. Like, people were opening the package and immediately showing the tag. So, it seems pretty legit. Obviously, everything can be faked on the internet, but even if those SOSs are fake, the fact that they're putting out 5,000 products and damaging the environment and obviously not paying their staff what they should be paid is evident, in my opinion.
Wow.
In my opinion.
Criminal.
Absolutely. Are you ready for the main segment?
Oh, bitch, I'm fucking ready. I'm so ready. I want to hear.
I'm I have so many notes. I'm hoping that it's not too long. I'm hoping that I don't talk your ear off. I really do get passionate about this. This isn't excitement that I'm feeling because I'm not excited about today's topic. But I will say I'm a fashion person. I dream of being a designer. I get excited by the big brands. I watch all the fashion shows. I have a Vogue subscription. I stay on everything. I went to school for fashion. I didn't graduate, but I went to school for it. I will be getting my degree in it, in design at some point.
You're amazing.
So I'm fully in this world. This world is important to me. And I'm wondering
so you have
now.
Strong feelings about this. Yeah.
I do. And I almost feel maybe it's just bullshit. And I'm not saying that everything happens for a reason because it doesn't. But maybe in my life, the reason that I've kind of held back and not thrown myself in fully is because this industry needs to collapse before it can be built up in a way that I can't be proud of the fashion industry when this shit is happening,
Yeah.
So the fact that it's falling apart does upset me, but considering that there are actual people being affected by this, I don't think that I'm even worried about my personal feelings, other than calling things out when they're really wrong, regardless of how I feel about the industry as a whole.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably all of you are well aware, unless you live under a rock, of the Balenciaga situation. There are people all over TikTok destroying their Balenciaga pieces. It kind of reminds me of when James Charles got cancelled. Do you remember? Did you see anything about that?
Yes. Mind you, I'm the kind of person that purposely lives under a rock. You can call me Patrick Star if you'd like. So I don't really I'm not in the loop with a lot of that stuff like you are, which is why I didn't even bother. Like I said, I saw that one TikTok about this Balenciaga scandal, and I made sure to not look into it any deeper because I wanted you to explain it to me.
Yes. Well, back when James Charles got cancelled, he had a pallet out with Morphe at the time, and people were taking it outside and smashing it with a hammer and posting videos. They were burning it, and they were destroying their pallets, kind of canceling him in the most extreme way that I think I've ever seen online. We see cancellations a lot. And I'm not even going to call this Balenciaga situation cancel culture, because I think that we should all collectively be not on the side of pedophilia, right? That goes without saying. This is not cancel culture.
Yeah, no, I would agree 110%. I feel like if I was to ever be the dictator of the world, the only people I would ever genocide would be pedophiles. So I'm 100% on that page with you. 100%.
I don't see this as cancel culture, but the reason I bring up James is just because the feeling is very reminiscent of that when I'm seeing these TikToks of people throwing these $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 pieces in the trash and setting it on fire and making a stance. That's what it reminds me of. And rightfully so. Just, I don't know. That's a whole other thing. That's not even part of what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah. Talk about bad for the environment, just burning.
It's bad for the environment, plus there's people in need, and what a privilege to burn a $2,000 garment because you no longer support the brand. You know what I mean? I did see a TikTok of this girl saying there's homeless people out there that don't give a fuck about what the brand is, they're just cold. Obviously your teeny bags and your ridiculous boots, and Balenciaga has a lot of avant-garde pieces that aren't really keeping you warm on the streets.
Right.
So those, whatever. It is what it is. It's more the symbolic nature of what's happening. But just to take a brief step back and give you a full kind of update, full context of everything that has gone on I'm going to give you some details and expose some stuff that maybe you haven't been made aware of yet. And I just want to mention that I think these types of episodes are really important because it's a big deal. We do have to talk about this stuff. There's some things that are happening in the headlines that maybe we're not mentioning. This literally has to do with big celebrities, big expensive fashion, fucking taking advantage of children. This is the one thing I think that this is the one hill that I think I'm more than happy to die on.
Yeah, I feel that for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so basically what's happened is that Balenciaga shot and released a campaign with their new line of bags that featured teddy bears dressed up in BDSM gear, but they were being held by children. In another shot, there's a luxury bag shown on a desk covered in papers and other office materials, and one of the letters that can be seen when you zoom in is a Supreme Court document decision on CP or CSAM or CSAM, that's child P, you guys. And that document, long story short, it's basically in the favor of that content, right?
Right.
That decision, that Supreme Court decision was not it.
No.
Very, very strange and disgusting thing to have featured.
Well, you also have to consider that these are multi-thousand, if not $1,000,000 campaigns. Every single thing that is in the frame of that camera is placed there on purpose.
Yes.
Just like just like when somebody's making a movie or a TV show or something, there are dozens of people whose job it is to make sure that what is being shown in the frame is allowed to be shown on the frame per the network's guidelines, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's so many things, so many people that are there just to make sure that what is in the frame is supposed to be in the frame. So that's not a fucking accident.
No, I find it difficult. This is alleged. I find it difficult to believe that that wasn't intentional. And the reason I'm going to say that is I have like an anecdotal experience with this, right? Like I design and make press-on nails, and I do it all by myself. I'm a one-woman show. I make the product, shoot the product, promote the product, do all the marketing, do the social media, I do everything. So when I'm shooting, when I'm doing a photo shoot, everything is intentional. If there's a hair on the thing, if there's candy wrappers in the background, if you know what I mean. Basically, anybody who's ever took a picture before, I know that there's like times where it's been like, oh, there's like a photo bomb in the background. That only happens when you're taking candid pictures. When you have a, like you say, $1,000 fucking shoot, like thousands and thousands of dollars, you've got 25 people on shoot. Yeah, I find that hard to believe, but we will get to that.
Okay.
Okay, so again, another thing that was spotted in the same campaign for that Balenciaga bag, that the one with the CSAM document, is a different shot where a woman's at a desk and she's got her feet up and she's dressed in the brands, all the stuff. The desk is super messy with paperwork, but you can see a book on the desk with the name Michael Bormans on the side. Okay, you can see that kind of stacked up. Now, Michael Borman is a Belgian artist, and I have a snippet from an article here by new.artnet.com. It says, quote, "The Belgian artist is known for unsettling imagery, particularly his 2018 series, Fire from the Sun, which depicts, quote, toddlers engaged in playful but mysterious acts with sinister overtones and insinuations of violence," according to his New York dealer, David Zwerner. So, you take into consideration that this isn't just one document that made it into a picture. This isn't just, I don't want to say just because it's disgusting, but this isn't just the children holding the fucking bondage bears. And it's not just this book, you know, this controversial artist book. It's all three of these fucking things. And there's actually a lot more, right? I would almost go as far to say that we're painting a picture here, okay? Like it's becoming pretty in your face, allegedly. Anyways, the creative director, Demna, has apologized for Balenciaga's, quote, wrong artistic choice, and the CEO, Cedric Charbit, apologized for, quote, the offense, end quote, that the campaign caused. And one thing I do just want to mention here really quick that I feel like I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about is that campaign where the art book is featured and the document is featured. It's a collaboration shoot with Adidas. I'm not seeing anybody talk about that. I also haven't seen Adidas say anything. Okay. Now I'm sure that Adidas just has like their name on these designs and seemingly had nothing to do with the styling of the shoot or whatever, but like, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong or hop in the comments on this one. If you know something I don't, but I just can't find a statement. I can't find that they're saying anything. So I don't really know what's going on there. Like, people are coming hard for Balenciaga, rightly so, but nobody's like mentioning like, oh, hey, like, Adidas, what's up? Like, somebody had to approve it on your side too, no? Okay. So there's a few levels to this, but I'm going to dive into specifically the legal tea on this situation. Okay. So far, as of today's recording date, which is the 6th of December. So, of course, the company is basically attempting to pass the buck. The brand alleged that the, quote, inexplicable acts and omissions made without Balenciaga's knowledge were malevolent or at the very least extraordinarily reckless, end quote. They are seeking $25 million in damages. They've filed a lawsuit against the production company North Six Incorporated and its agent Nicholas Desjardins. I'm sure I butchered that. However, Nicholas's representation is saying that the brand is trying to use him as a scapegoat and said that the Balenciaga employees were present at the shoot in question. I also heard through the grapevine, please do not quote me on this, this is alleged, cut that. Somebody said somewhere that all of the children used in the teddy bear shoot were children of Balenciaga staff. I don't know if that's correct.
I also saw that on that TikTok that I saw.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I feel like somebody said that somewhere. I have no way of validating that. I don't particularly
or
want
verifying.
To. Yeah, I don't need to know whose kids they were, but that is kind of interesting if that's true. Like what?
Yeah.
Anyways, a quote from the Post, Nicholas' agent says, quote, "Everyone from Balenciaga was on the shoot and was present on every shot and worked on the edit of every image in post-production," end quote. Which we figured, right? Like we know this.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. He also mentioned that those legal documents that ended up in that one picture, the CSAM, CP, Supreme Court document, I don't really know what to call it, so I'm just going to say all of those words every time I reference it.
Well, it's for, what is it? Child sexual abuse material. So that's what CSAM is. So I feel like CSAM, because I know I had mentioned that to you previously before privately, just because I was listening to an episode of my favorite podcast, my second favorite podcast, because this podcast is my favorite podcast, but my second favorite podcast, and they were saying that you can't really say child pornography because when you use the term pornography, there's an implication of consent.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And children cannot consent to that. So that's why it's not called kiddie porn or child porn anymore. It's child sexual abuse material, because that's what it is. It's child abuse.
Okay, perfect. Not perfect, but you know what I mean. Like
a perfect explanation.
Perfect explanation. It's not CP, it's CSAM. So you guys, that's where I'll probably bleep the mention of that as well, just because YouTube really doesn't like that, and that's where we are exclusively right now. But you guys are picking up what we're putting down here, okay? Anyways, so Nicholas mentioned that those legal documents with the disturbing content that were featured in that bag picture were obtained from a prop house. I have 100 questions. First off, who printed it off? Second off, who was like, ooh, you know, it would be edgy. Let's use this fucking Supreme Court legislation basically voting in favor of a particular type of CSAM and put it in it. Where did this start? There's got to be a starting point. You know what I mean? A prop house is where you keep your fucking props that you use in photo shoots and in whatever shoots for your stuff, right? Pretty straightforward. Doesn't take a lot of mental gymnastics to figure out how things end up there. You have a storyboard, you plan what the vibe is for the shoot, you source pieces, you make props, you do whatever, you get accessories, and you store them all in there so you can reuse them for later shoots. Who fucking printed that off?
Yeah.
You know, like they just say that, like, oh, it's from the prop house. Okay, continue the fucking sentence. Who, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't end there for me. Like that's not enough. So obviously trying to navigate their way out of this controversy, which seems like such a diluted word to use for this, you know? Like I don't even want to say cancel Balenciaga. I don't want to call it Balenciaga Gate. I don't want to call it a controversy because it's such a bigger deal. I talk about tea every day for my job. And that's like, ooh, fucking Trisha Paytas said this. This is not tea. This is ugh.
No, this is bordering on criminal behavior. Like this is
And it goes pretty deep. It goes pretty deep. Obviously, because everything's corrupt. So Balenciaga has said they will be, quote, closely revising, end quote, its organization and, quote, collective ways of working, end quote. Another change they mention will be, quote, reinforcing the structures around creative processes and validation. Sorry, let me repeat that. Quote, reinforcing the structures around our creative processes and validation steps, end quote. They also mention, quote, we want to ensure that new controls mark a pivot and will prevent this from happening again, end quote. You know what I hear? That they are wanting to make a comeback and leave all of this behind.
Yep.
That to me, if your apology includes anything about moving on, moving forward, especially at this level, right? Like if you, what's like an example? If you are in the public spotlight and you say something offensive, right? Okay, let's use an example of me because I don't want to point anybody else out. Let's use my example. Last week during episode 4, I said the G word, which at the time of me saying that, I did not recognize that it was offensive. Although in saying that, I have to be honest, I know that the Irish use it in a derogatory way, but I also grew up there, you know what I mean? So it's like it didn't resonate with me that it would be offensive. And I also explained in the last episode that my mother's side of the family is Romanian. Yeah. And that word was something that she has always said in very much pride. So let's just use that example, right? I'm not going to re-explain myself. It's in the last episode. That could be something where I apologize and say moving forward, I will not see that anymore. And of course, if people choose not to accept that, that's up to them. But I think that in that circumstance, it's appropriate for me to mention moving forward, I won't say that again because now I'm educated on it, right?
Right.
How are you saying in your apology when using kids as props in your fucking sexual content for your bondage bags? Moving forward, we won't do that again? Right. Fucking excuse me? Don't talk about the future yet. You go sit in your fucking corner. Like yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah. And the public, at least everything I've seen over the weeks, at least this feels like it's been going on for weeks, I'm not sure how long it's been, on social media, seemingly will not be forgetting about this and just moving on. I know that I will not be. Yeah, not that I was like about to buy Balenciaga stuff anyway. Let's be real. Right.
Yeah, but it's like the notion of like accountability. It's like, you know, like you were being held accountable in that moment with your example about using the G word, and like I, you know, told you like I don't know that that's politically correct anymore, yada yada, and it's like you in that moment take accountability and you say, oh, I wasn't aware of that, but now that I know that, I'm gonna refrain from doing that. That's something adults do. You know, we acknowledge when we've done something wrong, we apologize, and we move forward from that. But for them to just, in their apology, just already skip the step of taking accountability and just going straight to moving on from it is unacceptable.
Yeah. It's I mean, they should say in so many words, that was fucked up and everybody is getting fired. That's kind of the only thing I can see.
Agree. 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So this is going to lead us, of course, to my favorite source on the internet. It's going to lead us to a TikTok I came across. But the content creator, his name is Barrett Paul. I'll be linking not just this TikTok, but like also his account and then any links that I can find for this organization that he mentions, because I really wanted to platform him and this organization, I guess, that he mentions in this TikTok. So he's part of a group called the Models Alliance. He was a model for 10 years himself, by the way.
Okay.
Which looks to make the fashion industry actually be held accountable for the predatory ways that he says have always been, right?
Okay.
So let me just unpack this Models Alliance thing for you guys real quick. Barrett explains that the Model Alliance met with the LVMH and Kering executives in 2019. Kering is basically the parent company for Balenciaga, right? So I'm going to be referencing them quite a few times. Kering equals owner of Balenciaga.
Okay.
So they met up. That's the Models Alliance and Kering. Met up and wanted to talk to Balenciaga or Kering so they could discuss something called the Respect Program with them. The Respect Program is a contract that the Models Alliance created to help brands do better and not have predatory behavior continue on. Within that contract, there's some points like, quote, code of dignity and respect, educate everyone on their rights and responsibilities, protect transparency and models' right to speak out, and go beyond voluntary company policies to enforceable commitments. So this would cover not featuring children in fucking bondage-themed campaigns, right? This would fall under that.
Yeah,
amongst
for sure.
many, many other important things, but we're going to focus on this for now. Well, Kering, Balenciaga, didn't end up signing this program. They didn't want to sign it. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So now Kering isn't just the owner of Balenciaga, but also a huge list of other brands that I'm going to read off to you. So possibly, allegedly, if you're considering not supporting Balenciaga because of all of this, which I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's probably, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to get sued for this, to be honest. But if that's what you're thinking about doing, possibly also consider that this is not just Balenciaga.
Of course not. Mm-hmm.
No. We have Gucci, Bottega Veneta, Yves Saint Laurent, Boucheron, Alexander McQueen, which I'm pretty upset about. It's one of my favorites. Pomellato, Brioni, Keelan, Grand Farrago, Jean Richard, or possibly Jean Richard, but I'm going to mispronounce it anyways. Ulysses Nardin. Also worth mentioning, and also what Barrett mentioned in his TikTok, which is my entire source for this little segment I'm talking about. Again, I'm linking, like, if you guys are into this stuff, please follow him. Like, he is doing really good work for this. Kering, parent company of Balenciaga, is actually owned by another company called Artemis SA. Okay. So when you have these umbrella companies, when you have a lot of them, like, I get red flags. I'm like, what's going on? Why do you need A, B, and C to own B, D? You know what I mean? It's like, I know that you're probably disgustingly rich, and we will never know exactly how rich you are. That's what I hear.
Right.
So Balenciaga, owned by Kering, owned by Artemis SA. That's the parent company for Puma, Christie's, A-Rock International, Peanut Collection, and Optim Home SAS. I don't recognize any of those except for Puma and maybe Christie's.
Yeah.
But I'm including them. You guys should be aware of this. So, that parent company, Artemis SA, and Kering are owned by the same guy. And this guy is a super rich French guy, the second richest man in France, actually. And guess who he's married to?
Somebody who works at Balenciaga?
No, guess who his wife is? Just a guess. Just throw something out there.
I don't know. Tell me.
Salma Hayek.
What? Whoa. That came out of left field. Cool, I guess. Good for her. When
I read that, I was like, wait, what, like the Salma Hayek? Or just like someone who has the same name?
The same name.
Yeah, I was pretty shook by that. That shook me more than any of that. I'm just kidding.
No. I hope not.
No, absolutely not. Okay, so I'm gonna put a pin in him. Okay, I'm gonna call him Salma Hayek's husband for the rest of this.
Perfect. That's what he is.
Yeah, I was gonna put his name, and I'm still on the fence. I didn't actually include his name in any of my notes because, like, I really don't like to platform the bad guy here. But I think because this is ongoing as well, like, we have to be careful. We are a small podcast. It's literally just us two. Like, it's just John Day and I. So, okay, disclaimer. if I turn up dead, I didn't kill myself. Okay?
Glad to hear it.
Just
Same.
saying.
Same. I know I talk about offing myself all the time, but it's all just really bad, morbid jokes. Promise.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
yeah.
it.
I mean, I definitely think about it constantly, and I have like the worst intrusive thoughts, but I'm definitely not going to now because we've talked about this. Okay, so I'm putting a pin in, what was I going to call him? Salma Hayek's husband. Hayek's husband.
Salma Hayek's husband.
Yeah, Salma Hayek's husband. Because there's something else that got exposed recently about him. It's super fucked up. But I want to get through this respect program thing first, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you about that. Okay. So, to platform this respect program from the Models Alliance, there are ways that we can help. This program has not been signed by a single modeling agency or brand or any company. Why you wouldn't want to sign something that ensures your models, yourself, everybody's just comfortable in line, knows their boundaries are protected. I don't understand why you would be not wanting to do that. Barrett mentions that not only has no one signed this, but they are actively fighting the legislation. So it's like, it's not just like, oh, I'll get to it later and they never get around to it. It's like, no, and leave me alone and fucking my lawyer is gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But we like abusing children, so we won't sign that. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Very suspect. So Barrett says that we should all continue to put pressure on these companies to do the right thing, and just keep in mind, you guys, that these companies are huge. So try and learn about who you are supporting, even if you're just buying the products, but also, and not even especially, if you're platforming them. Like if you're a content creator specific to the fashion world, before boasting these products and stuff, just maybe consider doing some research.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is almost like as much to myself as anybody else, because I do plan on expanding my fashion portfolio with styling and with, different things like that. And obviously with styling, you're going to be using big brands pieces. So even me, myself now, fully submerged in the fashion industry, I have to be careful with who I choose to include in anything. And I know it's more work, you guys, but it's worth it when you think of these models and these children. Like, it's not...
Yeah, and also just kind of to circle back to, when I talked about capitalism at the beginning of the episode, it's in a capitalistic society, you vote with your dollars.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to go to Home Depot because Home Depot donated a bunch of money to Trump's campaign the last time he ran for president. I'm going to go to Lowe's because they didn't do that.
I have an ex that would be very happy to hear that. I don't know if there's any chance that he would ever end up listening to this, but if he does and hears you say that, that is going to make his whole life. And he's a really nice guy, so it's a good thing.
Cool. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like, I'm not going to give money. For another good example, I don't fucking eat Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, duh.
Because
I'm surprised so many people still do.
Dude, for real. Every time I see somebody at work in the break room with Chick-fil-A, I ask them, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you, hate gay people?
I see members of the LGBTQ plus community, on their social medias, on their stories or whatever, with Chick-fil-A. I'm thinking, why? There's no way you don't know. What, has just enough time passed that you're over it? Okay.
I don't even know. I think that some people just don't care. And I've heard people be like, oh yeah, I don't care.
No,
I don't care.
Never.
And I'm like, well, I fucking care. I'm not gonna, I'll go to fucking Popeyes if I want a chicken sandwich. I do not have to go to fucking Chick-fil-A. Exactly. Because I'm not gonna support a company that literally gives money to fund fucking pray away gay camps. Fuck that.
Absolutely not. Fuck Chick-fil-A. And fuck Balenciaga. Since we're just fucking things right now.
And fuck Home Depot.
And fuck Home Depot. Yeah, okay.
Fuck Walmart too.
I think this guy might have a tattoo that says that. Not for that reason, but I think he might.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Circling back to the French guy, Salma Hayek's husband, that owns Kering and owns that other company. And and all that, right? So it's come out recently. This is alleged. I really gotta hammer this home. This is alleged. I can't and will not be showing the images of this. I don't even think I'm comfortable linking the tweet that has exposed this. Because it's really, really bad. But I couldn't not mention this, right? Like, on my research when I came across this, I fucking peed and vomited simultaneously. And I'm not like, and I know it sounds like I'm like making a joke, and it's actually not appropriate at all to make a joke right now. I'm really sorry for that. So I'm just gonna rip the plaster off and tell you. Apparently, allegedly, this man also owns a company that makes mannequins that are children in compromising situations. So I'm not gonna say it in so many words. There's one that I saw a picture of this one, and there's literally male genitalia on the face, like on the there's this piece coming off of the face, right? And that piece is called fuckface.
Ew!
And I just don't understand who these are for.
They're for perverts and pedophiles. That's who they're for.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you know, okay, you're just making me really remember, like, being home in Silver Lake in California, like, the American Apparel billboards that I would see are, like, these young, tiny, little, skinny, little, like, young women who are always in these really fucked up, weird, compromising positions, like, very sexualized. So, and I just kind of feel like, unfortunately, that's kind of one of the things with the fashion industry, that, like, a lot of the imagery is very misogynistic, very, like, almost in promotion of, like, sexual assault.
Yeah.
Or R word, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, it just is provocative of those feelings and a lot of the imagery. Like, for example, how with a lot of fashion imagery, it's just a torso, or it's just a head, or it's just the pants, or it's just the arms of a female form. And that alone is pretty destructive to our conceptualization of femininity in our society. So it's already got this, and I'm not talking about children, I'm talking about young adults, you know, it's already got this element of insidiousness with the posing, and that's just not cool.
The woman thing, right? Okay, this is like a complete sidetrack, but like I came across like this long, kind of very comprehensive breakdown of like that in cinema, right? So you look at movie posters, and it's like a very common thing for like. Sorry, I can hear my kid screaming. I'm sure it's happy. I'm sure she's fine. Let me talk about something else. Anyways, it shows, you know, movie posters that are just like from the neck to the thigh, or like the back shot, like, you know, just the ass in the back, right? And sometimes you see that in like a male heavy film, you know, like some gangster movie, it's all guys or whatever. But more often than not, there's like women in the movie, right? So it doesn't make any sense. I'll give you an example that's not like cinema based, but it's like music based. Do you remember that song that Kesha did with like Flo Rida or whatever? It was some club song, right?
No,
and like
I don't.
The single fair enough. The single picture was an ass, but it wasn't Kesha's ass.
Okay.
So it's like you see it all the time. Like there was even a movie that had like 4 or 5 women in it. It was the Sisterhood of the Traveling Jeans, that one?
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, yeah.
Yeah. The movie poster for that, or like the cover of the movie, is a woman, and you just see her from like the lower back to like the back of the knee. It's a back shot, so it's her ass. Wearing the jeans with the little like photo booth pictures of the girls, and you zoom in really, really close, and then you can see their faces. Don't get me wrong, that's a cute picture, but it's very subliminal what's happening there. Like, and it happens so often. Like, we're getting off topic. Like, that's really more, I mean, it's like there's a war on women, honestly.
Honestly, I don't know what it is, but lately I've just been feeling like there might be a war on women or something, dude. I don't know what is going on.
I'm glad we got off of that little portion. I do want to mention again the mannequin thing. It's alleged. I didn't want to dive in too deep because I'm not fucking Googling that, right? I'm not having that in my search history.
Yeah, I'm not. Nope. Not in my algorithm.
No. And some people might say like, oh, well, if you're not going to do your research on it, don't talk about it. I could not mention it. It did come up on my research. It came up on Twitter. Yeah.
Not just that, but this is our podcast and we'll talk about whatever the fuck we want, so...
Yeah, if you need more detail on that specifically, that's on you, and you're not going to find it here. Moving on. Okay, so now I'm going to dive into some individuals who are not Balenciaga themselves, but are definitely a part of Balenciaga, okay?
Okay.
So there's this stylist by the name of Lotta Volkova. And she is currently facing a lot of scrutiny because now people are kind of, when things like this happen, people start looking back and they're like, oh my God, this, oh my God, this, oh my God, this. It didn't make sense at the time and now it's making sense. Right. Balenciaga has scrubbed their social medias and I can only speculate as to why, but I think it's telling, right? So the stylist, she was a stylist with Balenciaga, I believe until about 2018. So this is prior Balenciaga Gate with everything that is going on in this particular disgusting situation. But again, I'm breaking down people that have been involved, and we are sort of painting a picture of things are repeating here. Like it's becoming clear that this isn't just a one-off. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, she left the company in 2018. This is before all of this. But Lotta made her Instagram private recently as well because people started noticing and tweeting at her about her Instagram and the strange and horrifying things that were posted on there, to say the least. Yeah. She posted pictures and artworks, right? I'm putting my little bunny fingers up, artworks, if that's what you want to call that, depicting child abuse, dismemberment, kids tied up, and it's not clear if she had a hand in creating any of these pieces or whatever the fuck, or if she just simply shared them to be quirky and controversial. But since all of this has happened with Balenciaga, people are like, wait a minute, there's a lot happening with kids here. Why is it always kids? Why are you always sharing and sexualized, abused vibe pictures of fucking kids? What is going on? And just to mention, Lotta has spoke out and said that she does not condone child abuse of any sort. I'm just mentioning that, and also another mention for us that is alleged. Everything is an opinion. Again, at what point does it stop becoming a fucking coincidence? This is like the tip of...
I don't think it's ever a coincidence. No. Yeah, I don't think it's ever a coincidence. You are making a choice to promote imagery that is harmful to society. It's disgusting. Harmful.
It's disgusting. And I can't relate with someone who can look at something, because I saw some of her posts while I was doing this research. Again, seeing that mannequin, I have a fucking reaction to that of disgust, immediate. I want to avert my eyes, and I'm someone who has a morbid fascination. I'm someone who creates art pieces that are disturbing and make you feel uncomfortable. That's my vibe. This is something else. This is...
Well, it's like, I understand, like, art is supposed to shock you. It is supposed to evoke something inside of you, stir something inside of you that you have to grapple with and question and try to fucking understand. That is part of the purpose of art. I understand that. But CSAM, like, imagery, that is cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap shock. That's not, like, thought-provoking shock. That's not, like, let me dissect this and why does it make me feel this way. No. That is just fucking wrong, and it is illegal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, very well said. Very well said. Let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah, and like I say, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are a few more characters who have been involved with this company, and it's now coming out that there's like alleged just all kinds of stuff. There's another guy.
I'm feeling like some of these people might have been friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Just throwing that out there. That would track.
Yeah, allegedly.
That tracks for me.
Allegedly. Absolutely.
I am speculating wildly, but you know what? I'm hardly ever wrong when I do.
Yeah. There was another guy. I didn't include this one because I'm getting I was getting pretty long and deep with this. There was another guy that literally was trying to solicit pictures from an underage boy, and there's receipts of this. There's screenshots of this. You know what I mean?
So gross.
But I'm going to mention probably the biggest player, I would say, in this, which is obviously Ms. Kim Kardashian. And seemingly, right, as of right now, this is kind of also shocking, she's really the only celebrity I have seen speak out on this issue thus far. If I'm wrong, call me out in the comments. Like I say, currently the date is the 6th of December, so it could be different tomorrow.
Right.
But she's the only one that I can see making a statement. And here is Kim K's statement. Quote, I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened. As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by the disturbing images. The safety of children must be held with the highest regard, and any attempt to normalize child abuse of any kind should have no place in our society, period. I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaigns and apology. In speaking with them, I believe they understand the seriousness of the issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. I'm not done, but never happen again. You hear that subtle, hey, let it go, let's move on.
Yep.
As for my future with Balenciaga, I am currently re-evaluating you hear how mad I get? I am currently re-evaluating my relationship with the brand, basing it off their willingness to accept accountability for something that should never have happened to begin with, and the actions I am expecting to see them take to protect children. Let that fucking sink in. Yeah, that's what she had to say.
Okay.
So, as much as props for speaking out, because fucking nobody else has, and I'm going to tell you exactly who hasn't in a second.
Cool.
It's just, I'm sure she's got like her whole PR team. It's making me really wonder like why you can't just say, fuck you, Balenciaga, that wasn't cool, I'm done.
Right.
I know she doesn't need that pay stream. I know she has enough going on. It's not about money. So it makes me wonder what it's about. That you feel
connections, probably.
That you feel this loyalty to them. Because I'm going to be honest with you, John Day, I'm a very loyal person, and if you're in my inner circle, I am loyal, right? And you're one of my closest people. If you had something like this going on, you're canceled in my world. Like, I'm tweeting about it too.
I've canceled closer people for less. So
you know what I mean?
I'm
so it's
right
like,
there with you.
Of course it would be sad. I would mourn our friendship. I would miss.
But that would be the end of it.
I would miss the person that I thought I knew, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're promoting that and if you're normalizing CSAM, I didn't know you, and we were never actually friends.
Right.
So
exactly.
Kim K, if you're listening to this, maybe just take that into fucking consideration, okay? Like I say, as of right now, I have seen no other statements from any other celebrities who were shot by and in the Balenciaga very recent campaign. This same one, I believe. I believe it's the same one. I could be wrong, but they were still shot in and have said nothing. Bella Hadid, Nicole Kidman, girl, hello, Nicole.
Yeah, we were just saying we liked you.
I was just saying it yesterday, and
no, actually, remember you said she could go to New Zealand with her cockroaches.
Oh yeah. Well, now you can go to fucking New Zealand with your Balenciaga. And Madonna.
Uh-huh.
Madonna, I feel like Madonna may have, since I wrote that, possibly spoke out. Again, Madonna, if you're listening, I'm sorry if I'm, like, missaying that, but it obviously wasn't loud enough for me to see during my research, so maybe say it a little louder. And one more, this is, Kanye, excuse me, Ye. He no longer wants to be at all ever referred to as Kanye. He's calling it, I don't think he's calling it his dead name, but people are calling it his dead name. So out of respect for other people and respecting not using dead names, this is not in respect for Ye at all. Like, let me make that very fucking clear. But I won't refer to him as his, quote, dead name because,
Dead names are a thing for
they're a
other
thing,
people.
and yeah, we should respect them. So Ye has continued to wear Balenciaga since this happened, and has even supposedly like defended them. I kind of refuse to talk about him, because amidst all of this, like I literally stumbled across. I knew that it happened, and I wanted to avoid it. I wanted to avoid the appearance on the Alex Jones fucking broadcast.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because I just don't want to rot my brain. You know what I mean? But I also am such a big believer in, like, I need full context. I need to ingest both sides of the story. So I, like, can't just listen to one person who already has a distaste for these people, which I'm on the side of that. Don't get me wrong. I can't just hear you tell the story. I need to witness it for myself. Mm-hmm. So I did watch a good bulk of his appearance on the Alex Jones broadcast, and the fact that Alex Jones was trying to steer him away from what he was saying. Are you aware of what happened? I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I think you sent me that TikTok. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's unreal when Alex Jones is the voice of reason in a room.
Right? I was literally sweating with shock.
Sweating with shock. I was sweating with outrage.
Like I'm not going to repeat the things because I'm not Jewish. No. I'm not going to repeat anything that was said. I'm sure you guys know. As someone who is not Jewish, I was disgusted and offended and just distraught by hearing that. Like, I felt fucking... Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous rhetoric. It is dangerous rhetoric. The words that we choose to use in our everyday lives matters. Mm-hmm. It matters. For you to go around and say that the Holocaust didn't happen or to praise Adolf Hitler is unfathomable. Because you know what? The Jews were not the only people who were targeted by Nazism. Mm-hmm. It's everybody who wasn't Anglo and Christian. Yeah. And that is bonkers. Yeah. People are allowed to be different from each other on this planet. We are all still human beings who bleed red. Yeah. It is dangerous. It is dangerous to use words like that, especially when you have a platform, especially when you have fans who cling to your word, every word, and believe the things that you say to be fact. That is dangerous.
Yeah, well, there's effects already happening. I'm not sure if this was the one that I sent you or not, but there's literally a video of a Jewish man faced by a group who are...
A hate group.
Doubling down on what was said, saying that the Holocaust should have happened and all that. And I'm not going to dive into it.
Glad that it happened. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
It makes me want to fucking cry. It really does. It's just... Ugh, it makes me feel fucking sick, to be honest with you. That's probably why I've had a fucking migraine all day, because I ingested that bullshit.
Gross.
Back to our story. People, of course, are going through old content and pictures of Kim's, she's probably the biggest celebrity that's involved in this. So when stuff like this happens, people are already tearing her pictures apart, right? So they're of course doing it even more to look for any kind of consistencies or inconsistencies or whatever you want to call it with this situation. But people are alleging that she had to know that this was going on. This is alleged. This is not me saying this, right? This is a theory. Mm-hmm. They're saying that she had to know that all of this was going on, and they are likening a lot of her looks with her and her kids to artworks or whatever. I kind of refuse to call them artworks, but whatever. Pieces by that Michael Borman's guy. And the side-by-sides that I saw were very compelling in that, because there would be Kim in like the full black mask thing, you know, like that kind of fit that she would rock for a while, next to one of her children in a similar outfit, and then cut to a piece where it was the same. And it happened more than once. Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's factual. I'm not saying any of that, but it's just a little too close. And a lot of these as well give off a super satanic vibe, which again, I'll always say this, the satanic kind of aesthetic, like the gothy witch look, I'm here for it. I'm always here for it. I have 100 pieces that even though, you know, I'm a person that believes in God, I like that look. I get that look. As soon as you involve children, it's a no-go. We can be artists. We can be shocking. We can be even a little controversial without fucking doing harm. And that's what's happening here. And that's the line 100%.
100%. Is that all you had for me?
Yeah. I'm sweating. I'm so mad.
Oh, you're glistening, okay? Princesses don't sweat. We glisten.
Oh. I guess I'm not a princess then, because my ass sweats. I've also been working out, so my body's really sore today. I'm on day 2 of like full working out. Yeah, it's for my mental health. I've been really struggling, and it's kind of like it's my last thing before I can't afford therapy, so I'm working out at home. That's basically what's happening.
That's good. I mean, at least you're doing something. If maybe BetterHelp or Talkspace wants to sponsor us, then maybe
that would be amazing. Because I did look up BetterHelp, and it did. Yeah. It looks like a great service. I just personally cannot afford it as of right now. But we are coming up to the holiday season. There's a little bit more pressure. You know, I've been sick, and I get paid monthly, so it's like when I have a bad couple weeks.
Yeah,
I have an entirely bad month. Like money-wise.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so that's
thank you. I'm thoroughly outraged. I'm angry. I appreciate that because I love being angry.
Yeah. There's I'm sure this situation will continue to develop. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to cover this, because it is in the fashion world, and I'm very, very passionate about that. And I know you're obviously passionate about calling people out for fucking doing wrong shit. So it was like,
especially when it comes to hurting children.
Yes.
I am not, like I said, if I was to ever be dictator of the world, I would genocide all pedophiles. You know what? That's mean. I wouldn't genocide them. I would put them all on an island.
Yeah.
And then I would have people, if they had been abused when they were young, be able to get like hunting licenses and then go and hunt the pedophiles on the island.
For offenders, absolutely. This is actually a discussion that I've always wanted to have with somebody on a platform, right? Okay, so here's the thing. When you become an offender, that's it. That's it for me, right? I think we can all agree on that. But an offender, before they become an offender, is a person, right? I'm not hitting you with some Christian, like, all acceptance and love. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, I think maybe a better method, instead of perfecting our punishment technique, could be to open the door for some type of... Now, obviously, this is never going to be something that we can prioritize, but if you think about it this way, if you get to an offender before they offend and get the help that they need...
Yes.
Before they offend... then we don't have a victim, right?
Right, exactly.
And then we have less victims. So obviously people are like, we should kill them all, burn them. Sure. Once they offend.
Right.
But can we get to them before? And so that's where it kind of... I know that they exist. And shout out, like, in the DMs if there is anybody that's involved in one of these organizations or knows something more about this, because...
these preventative measures that can be put in place. Yeah.
I can't imagine how it would work though, because like, even like, how do you come out and say I'm having attractions to Yeah.
People do. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
It's just not as common because they are shamed
Yeah.
for having these proclivities or these inclinations or whatever you want to call them, these urges. But at the end of the day, it's like you as the adult who see yourself having feelings that you know are wrong and shouldn't be having, like you're the one responsible,
Of course.
for getting help and not hurting
the buck
people.
doesn't get passed just because you have mental health issues. Like, I will always say that. Like, mental health does not excuse terrible, shitty, awful behavior. It could be a reason as to why we get to certain places, but even at that, as soon as you start hurting kids, like, I don't fucking care what your story is.
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's all.
And that's it. We did it.
Sunday, what's a fascist? I'm just kidding. Let's do that next week.
I can't right now. I'm too upset already. I'm so angry.
No, we'll save it for next week. I'll see you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few days.
I'll see you in a few days. Thanks for sharing. I love you.
I'm gonna go eat. You guys, we made it to the end of the podcast.
I know. It really has been an incredible ride.
Well, I'm shooting for Friday episodes. That's the goal, but you know.
Yeah, Fridays are good.
If you guys are watching / listening to us on YouTube, you can support us even more than just listening by subscribing to the Bad Brew channel.
Make sure to hit the notification bell too, so you know when we upload. But more importantly, I want to see you guys comment your thoughts because I love a good argument.
Are we arguing with the listeners?
I mean, maybe. It is me. I like to argue.
Right. Well, of course. Well, you guys can also stalk the socials. I'll link everything below, but we're the Bad Brew on basically everything except Instagram, where we're the Bad Brew Pod, because somebody already got to Bad Brew first.
Fuckers.
Yeah, well, until next time, I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too. Tune in next time, bad bitches.
Butterfly doors on the Tesla, I ain't spend shit on gas. If I like how the bad look, I'ma eat it up, ain't this shit back up.